We're gonna start from this session. I appreciate if you quickly can add your name. Uh, as quickly, please, because most of people have already some schedule, and this will be remain challenge while having this. Already in meeting the 17 people, but only the 6 people they opt in the quiz. Oh, no issue. Is their choice. We have 23 participants, but in quiz only the few people. Another few seconds, and we're gonna start with this. So our first quiz will be what is the main purpose of the FTA guide, taxation of family foundation? Again, what we trying to highlight here, so FTA already given the family guide, foundation related guide. And the guide reference number is a CTGFF1. Because if we're gonna search the source from where we can get the help, so this is the FTA Family Foundation Guide. Bus. So still one participant have the different. So far the people already added their name. It will be continued on the scoreboard, and ultimate we will share the final result by email also. If somebody previously not get, we will share the previous one also. So here the basic one, and we will dive in the detail. And here that if anybody would like to hear, let's see, is the just beginning because more complex topic will be covering. That's great. So most of the people aware about this. So let's continue the next. No, this is the more important, which article is relevant for the family foundation or which describe and what are the important part is covered over there. I believe most of we are familiar with that. And more frequently, we are going to discuss the Article 17 frequently, although Article 1 will be somewhere there. But again, there is a comprehensive part, or the more relevant part is Article 17 we're going to discuss. So here the wording of this, if anybody would like to explain on that, because any family foundation trust are similar entities that the word similar entities. So anybody would like to add here, what is the meaning of similar entities? Family foundation we understand, trust we understand, but the word of similar entities meeting the condition of Article 17. Anybody would like to share his point of view if he already understand the term over here? Here, family foundation and family foundation owned by any other entity who meeting the condition of the Article 17 means any LLC company also if meeting the condition of Article 17, it may subject to fall under the family foundation transparency. If all the conditions are meeting, so if family foundation already approved, so the company under the ownership of the family foundation, even if a juridical person LLC, but other condition are met as per Article 17, yes, it's eligible for the transparency. We're gonna discuss this part. The leaderboard will keep update as per the participant response. So let's move to the next. Now this question, focusing on that, what are the condition of the family foundation? What are the 5 major condition? Although there is other sub condition also will be there, but what are the main 5 condition? Are the principal key 5 condition that we have to look while we are looking the family foundation to apply for the transparency? And the family foundation by nature, by default, is a juridical person, as all we know about this. So now let's see. So one of the participants mentioned no business activity condition. So We will discuss in detail. Actually, this is the minimum turnover 1 million. This is the not family foundation condition. These three are the primary condition. Another two condition is also there, but these are the A, B, C. These are the primary condition, and in addition to other condition also. And we are going to make the working paper for the FTA transparency application on these conditions, because we have to justify all this point. So these quiz not only for our understanding, we are just refreshing ourselves while coming to the practical application, filing to the FTA. This will give us the refresher. Okay, this is already we refreshed. Even we given the correct answer or not correct answer. This is for our refresher. But the on other side, because this series will be continue. I'm not the one always will be continue from the same tax agent group. We will see another participant, other tax expert also. We are looking for the volunteer in there. One of the topic that they already did the exercise. If they would like to volunteer, and they hide the confidentiality part, and they would like to conduct this workshop. So welcome to them also. This is the primary idea. It's not only as a Ghazanfar Hussain will be continue all the session, but I'm trying whatever up to the stage wherever the relevant volunteer is not coming up. But till the time I'm continue on the topics. Now here the another important part, the family foundation. Again, most of the people not yet joined, although we have the more participant in the meeting. Here the main is the identified and identifiable. Anybody would like to give any answer? Okay, identified, we might understand. Okay, like any one participant name, or I'll mention. Okay, Ghazanfar Hussain is the one of the identified, or Miss Arina is the one of the identified, or any other person is the identified. Okay, what is the meaning of the identifiable? Miss Arina would like if you can share your comment on that. What is the identifiable? Because these are the key terms that we're going to learn from each other.
I'm not quite sure, but I will try. So the thing is, let's say if it's a juridical person, then for sure we don't know the ultimate beneficiary. But for us, it's what is the most important, especially for foundation, is to know the ultimate UBOs. Okay, so that means that at the end of the day, even though let's say the structure may be very complex, but we can identify the UBO. This is my understanding.
Okay. Anybody, another participant already work on that and he quite sure, okay, this is the meaning. So most welcome. Because this exercise will highlighting the key points instead of giving the lecture theoretical part and we just move on, but we are not key point. Maybe we skip from that theoretical part. I'm not saying that is not important, but still we already gone through the theoretical part. So identifiable, I'll just explain on that, and even I give you the reference on. FTA Family Foundation Tax Workshop is already there. They conduct the 4 months before the webinar, in which they given the highlight this point also. I'm going to mention the same. The identifiable, they given the example, okay, like Ghazanfar Hussain, I'm saying, okay, this is the identified. I'm saying the grandchild of the Ghazanfar Hussain, okay. So he's saying, yes, this is also identifiable. So this is the definition or the remarks they pass on that. They said, even the kid is not yet born, but as of today, you given that, okay, the grandson, they said, yes, this is the identifiable. Even the kid may be born after 10 year, 5 year. So this is the identifiable definition. They said we can identify through any reasonable or associate channel. So this is the meaning. The public benefit entities, Okay, that also we knows most of them the public benefit entities, and in term of the VAT also we already familiar on the public benefit entities. That is the again two condition. This is the one of them they listed in the FTA list, and some of them is not listed. Okay, then again the further definition. So we will dive on to that also. Um, Here the timer is already there. Once the timer is zero, then we can move to the next part. So here is the principal activity. So I believe the six participants joined so far, and the answer is correct. So anybody would like to add over here regarding the main activity, that will be more welcome. Because the family foundation, the main is one of this area. One of this is the key area. Receive, hold, invest, disburse, and manage asset and funds associated with this saving.
So may I
Yeah,
add?
please.
So the main idea is that entities should have passive income, not active. Okay, it's not active business. It's not an active business activity, not real operating business. It's just passive income. That's why this is like the main purpose of the foundation, basically. And these are the requirement, the five, as you told, the five requirement. One of them that the foundation should hold this specific activity. I mean,
Yeah.
like receive, hold, invest, disburse, and manage assets funds.
Here, I would like to share another aspect. See, I'm sharing my understanding that I go through from that, and even if somewhere you see, okay, once I finish, you can add your point of view. All the participants are open; they can highlight or they can share the comment. So when we talk about the family foundation and the main activity, we mention here: receive, hold, invest, disburse. So on the same point, if we have to consider, okay, if this activity as a natural person, if person is doing instead of through the family foundation, it subject to the tax or no? Another test would be this. This we're gonna discuss in that, because this is also important factor for the understanding. While applying for the transparency, we have to ensure, okay, let's assume that this activity that I'm running through the family foundation, if I'm gonna do as a natural person, it would subject to the tax. If is as an individual person, it's coming to subject to the tax, so which means, so you are coming in the family foundation due to avoidance of taxation. And the secondly, the regulation is saying, if is a standalone, is required the trade license to do the activity. Again, the same content as a natural person. We know the natural person is again the detailed topic. So we have to test the natural person aspect also, whether it's subject to tax, either required the trade license or not required to trade license. That factor would be tested while considering this main activity of the family foundation. If that is not taxable, so you are doing from the family foundation, and family foundation by default is a juridical person. But now FTA or the UE corporate tax law, they given the option, okay, if you doing that activity as a natural person is not subject to tax, okay, take the advantage and do the same activity from the through the family foundation and enjoy the same benefit. This is the key summarized point we are discussing over here. And while diving into detail, we have to prove such things. Now, again, the testing the same point. No business activity condition. No business activity condition. If we understand this part, so just now in the previous slide, we discussed a similar thing. So hope now we have the better understanding what is the no business activity condition. Okay, that's fine. So anybody would like to ask over here or share his point of view or add some value? This is one of the condition we have to satisfy. Now, this is another condition, no tax avoidance condition. We have to justify we are applying for the transparency, or we are running this activity, or the family foundation, but the main objective is not the avoidance of taxation.
So I actually have a question here. So
Yeah, please.
probably most of us know that family foundation are set up exactly to avoid taxes, and basically all over the world, in the USA, Europe, or whatsoever. And in most of the cases, federal tax authorities, they approve the request and they end up avoiding taxes. So how does it actually work in reality comparing to this article?
Okay, here we are primarily discussing the UE law compliance. Okay, so here the same thing. I do agree with you what you are mentioning in the worldwide, the Europe or US. So they are bringing the wealth over there. They park over there in the real estate. So if we on the other side we are looking the Europe also, they are giving some advantage to the investment in the real estate sector. So what I, as per my understanding, so what I understand that this whole activity for the family foundation to boom the real estate sector. So they want to bring the more investor in the real estate. So they are giving this advantage to bring the investment. So as per the local compliances, if that just now the previously we discussed the activity align until unless the GAR rule will be there. But before that, we are discussing if all the regulations are directly or indirectly is not shown, or the burden of proof will remain on the taxable person. But the primarily, if it's not apparently aligned with the avoidance of taxation, yes, we can give this confirmation considering all the factor. There's no tax avoidance in the UE. In the UE, okay, the word state is used in the more frequently in the corporate tax law. So the state meaning is the UE. So here, if we are rearranging or restructuring, so we have to consider that. So we're gonna see this one also during the working paper also. Here, more technical aspect may come during the discussion, as just one of our fellow he mentioned. This point is very common point, and mostly we know such things are coming. But while locally we are reviewing the document or reviewing the whatever the information provided by the our client or the taxable person, in that line we can analyze and proceed further, because we don't know what is the worldwide he's doing. Whatever the information he's providing, so we are doing our level best within that scenario. Anybody would like to share regarding the public benefit entity? And I mostly welcome who already dealt the case of the family foundation. So he knows the difference between the public benefit entity, the condition. So as of now, the 4 participants given the answer. So anyone would like to ask the question over here? This is again one of the basic question where we are looking for what is the first step to be do while going for the transparency. Maybe the 50% is a refresher or 60% is a refresher of the family foundation, even that this year is coming up. And one more thing, there is this maybe some family foundation, they have an opt for the like the current year or the previous year. So still till 31st December, they have the option as the exception, they can apply for the transparency. This is for this year only. From moving forward from the 2026 January onward, they can apply on only for the current year and the future year. But till December 25, the option is there. They still can opt for the previous year, that is the 2024. This is the another important part. The natural person who's getting the distributive share from the family foundation, at what stage is required to register for the corporate tax? That's fine. Most of us, their separate business or business activity in the UAE exceed 1 million turnover in the Gregorian calendar year. But there is another point that previously I already highlighted, but we'll discuss in the moving forward also. Here, if they are generating the income from the family foundation, so that can be added into this, the 1 million. What about C? Anybody would like to highlight this point, because this is the a key point that where I'm emphasizing for the understanding, because we have the more participants that have not yet joined the quiz. So what is the difference between C and B?
For real estate, as you told us before, so the main, like the core difference should lie when we need to define if this specific activity requires business license or not. So the same for receiving real estate income, investment income. If, as per UAE law, for natural person to receive this income, it's not mandatory to have a license, then it's not applicable to corporate law. But if opposite, then it is applicable. So this is the difference.
That's pretty much fine. I would like to highlight over here the FTA given the workshop on the real estate investment or the real estate the topic. So that they given the comprehensive almost 10 or 8 example with that differentiating where it's become the taxable or where it's not become the taxable. So now we are discussing the family foundation, but still we need that understanding. If we know the real estate activity that we done as a natural person is subject to tax or not tax. If we familiar with that part, so of course then we can go ahead and do the family foundation transparency. If anybody want to learn more about the real estate investment, that the understanding, just Google on YouTube on the family foundation for the FTA workshop. So you will get that webinar in which they explain and if anybody would like to have the slide on that, so you might send the WhatsApp. I'll share with you the slide also. Although FTA not given the slide, but mostly I'm preparing the slide for the key topics.
Could you please advise what date approximately what was it for the workshop?
This was approximate in the May 24. May 24 is happen in the Dubai. One of this beside the I think one of the hotels, and the second one they held another one they held in Ras Al Khaimah. That also I think the April 2024, but the latest one is the May 2024. Just send me the WhatsApp. I'll share you the slide. You will have the better understanding. Even during the the diploma, I shared these slides with the trainer also, and mostly he's acknowledged and he's using while sharing with the participant also. This is the helpful, although it's quite long activity, but still is beneficial for the learning point of view. And here regarding the family foundation, also the FTA have, but I prepared the slide also. The participant who joined, they will get by email that presentation also. And these things all prepared from that relevant Article 17 and considering the FTA webinar also, because these are the key area that we need to look into that for understanding. A juridical person can apply to be treated as a physical transparent in the family foundation. Now, this is the important, the family foundation multi-tier structure. I know before, but while preparing the presentation or this session, so I refined my understanding also. This is what I believe we learn from each other or learn from interactive session. So anybody would like to share his point of view? So in this is the one of the very key aspect. Let me here 6 people they opt, but I would like to highlight or emphasize over here the word wholly owned and controlled is very important, directly or indirectly. The word wholly is important. Okay. So there will be certain circumstances where the family foundation, if owned by another subsidiary, if he owned by wholly, it's subject to the transparency and it can get the, I will use the word exemption, but normally we say the transparency application is approved. But if it's not wholly owned, okay, the there is a 2 family foundation and they own another SPV. Okay, the SPV, another special purpose vehicle, like they make another family foundation or the company. So, but the top layer, that the family foundation is not wholly owned by the same. So that it will here the wholly and other is the uninterrupted chain. This is another important factor, uninterrupted chain. These 2 are the very important. So while we are looking, okay, this is multi-structure like the family foundation, they own the subsidiary A, the subsidiary A owned by the subsidiary B. Okay, now we have to see the structure wholly owned by the same family foundation. Yes, it met the criteria. here is another important part I would like to share. The mean of the like if the family foundation, we all familiar with the DIFC, ADGMA, and the RAC ICC. Commonly, the free zone. These three free zone are they are registering the family foundation. Some they are registering through the lessons, some through the agreement. So that is the another further detail. So we are keep on that is the through the lessons. So as of now, we are primarily focusing on the through the lessons. They already have the family foundation and they are juridical person. This is the our today agenda, what we are discussing and learning. If they own another LLC company, family foundation is registered in DIFC, is owned by another company that may be in other free zone or the another mainland, they have the activity investment in the commercial enterprises. Investment in commercial enterprises. So anybody would like to share his understanding on this point? I appreciate and welcome if anybody would like to participate. Let me see the chat if I skip something. Any participant would like to share his point of view?
I think we will discuss it later, right?
Yeah, I'm just going back. Actually, I think something went wrong. Okay, now hope we can move forward and screen is there. So we now gonna, because the most of the key area we already discussed here, the uninterrupted chain. This is another key important learning, uninterrupted chain. One is the multi-tier structure, another is the uninterrupted chain. See here what we are discussing to the specific point on the specific understanding, but at the comprehensive understanding, of course, we have to go back and learn the relevant legislation. But these are the key points that will help us. Okay, yes, it is possible while getting the new case from or getting the query from the client. In our mind will be click, okay, yes, it's possible. Of course, we will dive into the relevant legislation and find out the solution. But first we have to know, yes, it's possible or not possible. Okay, so now let's move to the next. Now there is another part is the foreign entity. Another, I believe, 5 or 10 minutes. So this quiz will be over. Then we're gonna start with the application for the transparency. What are the step by step? But I'll take the presentation that I prepared from the FTA webinar. So we are covering by same sequence. Yes, here is our learning is that foreign entity. Establishment outside the UAE. What is the learning? Foreign entities. Even the foreign entity part of the family foundation, still it met the condition. But of course, subject to the applicable condition. Now we are discussing the family foundation, but again the participating interest, that criteria will be also applicable. We have to see that part also. So same, we are discussing the family foundation. Again, the area is tested, the natural person, the real estate, and the just now we mentioned the PI criteria also getting involved in that. So this question also will refine our understanding in natural person will subject to tax on their distributive share or no. Not subject to corporate tax, where the income would be regarded as a personal investment or real estate income earned directly. That's good. Here we have the refresher, and the same what we are preparing the transparency application. The same point we have to cover. How we have to cover, what are the content to be mentioned over there, that we're gonna see as a practically. Now here another important part. Earlier we seen the public benefit entity. Now is mentioned the qualifying public benefit entity. Qualifying public benefit entity, FTA already given the list as under VAT. We already seen the qualifying list of public benefit entities. But here the both qualifying and non-qualifying both are coming under the family foundation, and associated criteria is there. So if the qualifying public benefit entity, okay, is meeting the condition, but if is not public qualifying benefit entity, then the distributive conditions are there. So we have to see the second condition. If the second condition is met, then of course again we are subject to the transparency. If both are not met, then we can even we submit a FTA, they will reject. So that's treated as an exempt person, so their distributive share is not subject to corporate tax. Again, what we are testing, if that activity or the income is the distributive share getting by the end, what we call the end person or the natural person or the beneficial owner, okay, so the member of the family foundation, if is not subject to tax, so we are meeting the condition. But this is the case of the qualifying public benefit entity, because they are the exempt as per the FTA guideline. But now there is another scenario where this is not the qualifying public benefit entity. So then second condition will become up. What is the second condition? They're saying, okay, public benefit entity, but not qualifying. So we have to see the 6-month distributive condition. If the 6-month distributive condition is met, again, we will remain subject to transparency. If that not met, then we cannot claim for the transparency. Even we submit FTA will reject. I appreciate if any of the participants from this tax agent group, if they have their own topic where they want to be come forward, volunteer themselves, and conduct the workshop. So most welcome. Ms. Serena would like to share insight on this.
It's just regulation, so we just have to know it. I unfortunately I don't remember the specific article.
Okay, this is the
this
one
is
of
just.
the
Mhm.
yeah. This is the one of the exception. This is one of the exception because normally, as I mentioned in the before, here is thing with a special deadline of 31st December for the tax period ending on or before March 25. Okay, for this period, the deadline is extended, but normally this is not the deadline. Here is the focus is that this is, as I earlier mentioned, considering this extension that is the given relaxation by the FTA, if any organization so far not apply for the transparency, so they are meeting the same deadline. Yes, they have the option till 31st December 2025 they can apply. But moving forward, they only have the option for their current period and the future period. The previous period they cannot. But so far, only the 6 days is left. They can claim for the 2024 as well if they forget or they want to claim the transparency. So this option is remain there. But one of the case what I seen if the where they said the previous year when we are discussing same like here we are discussing they said they applied for the two organized family foundation as a tax agent is working. I think one of them is accepted for the previous year, one of them is rejected for the previous year. So there again that will be detailed discussion in another direction. Because these regulation the key point what we are trying to cover over here, because these key point change the dimension. And the participant who already joined, they will receive their joining certificate as well. Hope in the future such event, as of now there is no clarity, but in future I am expecting my understanding FDA gonna accept such interactive session where the taxation part is discussed as a primarily topic. Okay, let's move to the next. Which FTA decision specifically set out tax compliance requirement for unincorporated partnership, family partnership, foreign partnership, and family foundation? Okay, let's move to the next. So FTA decision number 5. We will dive into that. This is the another dimension in the family foundation. Foreign tax credit can be claimed as a tax professional. What is the first thought come in our mind? Can we claim or we cannot claim? By the way, Messina, in the UAE, we've seen the Russian, they have the huge investment in the real estate. So I'm expecting you have the good opportunity, or you might be already done the such proposal to your client to do the investment and without tax.
Yes.
Okay, let's move to the next quickly. Now here the same concept of the real estate as a natural person. If here somebody would like to have the more clarification, I would like to highlight, although we already explained over there, FTA real estate webinar will be there to understand this part, the real estate without trade lessons and with trade lessons. The same concept is tested over here. Because as a natural person, if the real estate investment is not subject to tax. But if he is doing the same activity, if he own the same property through the trade lessons, then it's coming to the corporate tax definition. But here two condition parallel tested. Because here the second condition, first condition is met, not required, but the second condition operating a model which required a license. So this part is also given the example in the FTA webinar to explain this case, to highlight this part. If only the first part is meeting the condition, but the second part is filling the condition. I believe only the 3 question left. Total is the 25 or 27. Now this is the multi-tier LLC. Here is the multi-tier. Second, the important fact, 100%. Again, the 100%. And next is the both companies only hold investment. The next, no commercial activity is confirming all the data. All the entities are physically transparent once approved, which statement is accurate. while reading the regulation and while applying it, have the more detailed understanding. Okay, we will discuss this part in the slide. If you have any question, please let me know, or we can proceed further. Although we discussed the same concept in the previous slide also. Oh, we already familiar with that. Let's move quickly. Now the next question, second last question, more likely is 25 or 27. This is one of the important points tested over here or highlighted over here. Mention the tax period ending this, and second is the public benefit entity, but it's not qualifying public benefit entity. Very clearly mentioned over here, it's not public qualifying benefit entity. So we just now discussed this part. So if this first condition is not met, it's not public qualifying benefit entity, so it's not exempt person. Now the second condition, the distributive share of to the public benefit entity. So what is the deadline? If we met that condition, we still meet the condition of the Family Foundation Article 17. This is one of the condition along with all other condition. Yes, this is the within 6 months. I believe we are familiar with this, the process. This is summarizing the topic, how it will be moving. Now the next is the how the working paper, the application to be processed, and what are the working paper or what are the document we need from the client while working on this case. We have the active participants. Mr. Yusuf. Okay, now. Okay, let's close here. So we're gonna take a 10-minute break. So after the break, we're gonna start with the working paper or the application part. But here, before that, going on break, if anybody would like to share his point of view, his understanding, so most welcome.
I just wanted to tell that even though we haven't started yet to study, but this your quiz is actually, first of all, you by explaining us, you already give us some, some important points, some understanding, which let's say I didn't have before. So thank you for preparing this, and for making it so interactive.
Thank you. Thank you. Most welcome. Because this is the summarized version. Even we haven't worked, but when the query come to us, the first point, okay, is workable. Now the next part, when we go through with the documentation part or the application part, so after that, hope we all will be enjoy and this will be beneficial while investing the time over here. So anybody else?
Sorry,
So,
I have something to add also.
yeah.
Just like to give you my opinion, because like I'm a person of logic because I'm a lawyer. So in your questions and in your response, for me there was some logic, like how you actually set the correct answer. So in some point, I think that when you provide different answers, the correct answer it can be like easy to define, just because of the way how you do it, because it's 100% like legally formulate, like very much like a law. So even though, let's say, sometimes I doubt it, I just did with my logic. So next time, if you want, I can like I can do, I will help you if you require help.
Yeah.
It's to make it more tricky. I don't know if we need it, but it's possible to make it more tricky, because sometimes just by looking at it, I was realizing, okay, this is correct answer, because the way you like how to say formulate it, it's already, like, for me it's already clear that this is as per law. It's something like very official.
Okay, that of course we'll catch up and we'll discuss on the next workshop, and we'll see how what we can work together on that.
Yeah, I
But
will.
first of all, thanks from your side opening for the subject. Okay, and the second part here, the main agenda of this is the discussion, the key point highlight. Even the answer is not, but while we understand the what is the logic or what are the key element, okay, so once we dive into and go through, so that will be more understanding. So if I go with this presentation without this, so maybe we are not all familiar with that, even the theoretical part or the key area part, technical what are the applicable, so it will be difficult to understand. Now I believe if we gonna even go with the presentation, okay, the presentation itself take maybe the more than 2 hours, so this is not the today topic. We gonna dive directly to the application, how to apply for the transparency. But the this is the core area that we are covering, and the same we already discussed. So this gonna help us regarding the cover up today, the initial part of the family foundation, or we can say the without multi-tiered structuring, the initial family foundation, it we will cover today, and inshallah it will be helpful for everyone. So let's take the 10-minute break. So we'll resume, let's say the 3:40.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.